Alright guys, and welcome to the 2016 TLC WWE PPV Predictions video. There is also going to be the blog entry, which is on my site, dan3hityou.com/blog. So, as we know, it's the TLC, the last SmackDown only pay-per-view of the year, obviously until the Royal Rumble, I believe. There might be one in between then, but as far as I'm aware, it is the Royal Rumble, which is next. So let's start things off with the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I think, without going into too much detail, I reckon we're going to see a brand new SmackDown Women's Champion, mainly because it just makes sense. I would have Alexa Bliss probably just as clean as possible, really. I don't want like a dirty type of win. But you know, I think just before we go in any further, I actually do think this is going to be the only pay-per-view this year, or in quite a long time actually, that all the heels are going to win. I don't see any face winning their respective matches in this entire card. So if that is the case, let's hope there is a good maybe a few plot twists and such, just to get the fans going, because if heels keep constantly winning in this, it could unsettle the fans, to be fairly honest. So like I said, I've got Alexa Bliss to go over Becky Lynch and become the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Moving on to the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championship, I don't understand why Randy is with Bray Wyatt. It's basically just the entire same storyline as when Daniel Bryan did it. So eventually when Randy Orton turns, people might actually boo Orton because we've seen this entire storyline before. I don't see Rhino and Slater winning this match. I think they need to build on something with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. So I'm going to go with those to capture the tag team belts. Moving on to this feud between Nikki Bella on the left and Carmella above me. This is the only one what I'm 50-50 on. The only reason I'm going with Carmella is because it is a no DQ match, so inevitably someone is going to get involved. Whether it's the same person that attacked Nikki Bella or not, I think that would be a bold but decent move to do, to be fairly honest. I would have Carmella go over Nikki. Even though we're going to have a heel champion, why can't we have a heel versus a heel? I don't understand why we can't do that, because that to me is fine. I would go with Carmella to win this match, but knowing the WWE and knowing the current issue with John Cena, I reckon they might have Nikki Bella win this match just to try and ease the friction they've got with John Cena at the minute. So personally, I'm going with Carmella because I think that would benefit the women's division more. Moving on to, I believe this is a chairs match between Kalisto, the Masked Luchador, and Baron Corbin. Personally, I would have this as not a squash match as such, but like a destructive squash match. So I would have Corbin absolutely rinse through Kalisto with chairs and just absolutely destroy him, because they need to build some type of heelish monster on SmackDown, because they don't really have that. They don't have that parallel to Braun Strowman, which is on Raw. So I would do that with Corbin here. As much as he doesn't really have the body, obviously his chest and his abs are terrible. That's obviously why he's wearing a t-shirt all the time and a jacket and such, just like Roman Reigns. But I would go with Baron Corbin here because I think he has some hidden potential what we haven't discovered yet. It can take a few years for people to obviously get over, especially find their peak in this business. So I would personally go with Corbin because I think he has more potential than Kalisto does. I would certainly just go with Corbin, to be fair. Moving on to the Intercontinental Championship, which has probably been defended for about the 11th time in the past 15 weeks or something ridiculous like that, between Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Personally, I would have The Miz go over here. I don't understand why Ziggler won the match. If you remember, I think it was either last month or the month before, it was Ziggler's career versus The Miz for the IC title. Ziggler obviously won that match because, God forbid, he retires or leaves WWE. But then I think a week later or 2 weeks later, The Miz won it back. Pointless title change booking. Miz is possibly the best, if not, well, second best, if not the best on SmackDown right now. It's the best he's ever been in his career, especially with the feud that he's currently having with Daniel Bryan. Hopefully that does end in something with Bryan getting physical, but who knows? We can only hope for Mania. That to me would be amazing if they could have Bryan versus The Miz at WrestleMania. I would be more than happy with that, or even at the Rumble. But I don't think they would allow the clearing to be so quick with the concussions that they've currently got. I think if anything's going to happen, it's probably going to be Mania. I think it's a massive waste of time if they're not going to build to something like this, or if maybe Bryan asks someone from Raw to come to SmackDown to beat him for him, someone like Cesaro, who we know he's friends with in and off screen, so that would be quite nice. But I'm going with The Miz to win here because I just want him to win. I'm really bored of Ziggler, as I keep saying. He's got amazing talent, he really has. But same gimmick for like the last God knows how many years, and it hasn't worked. The only time it did work was, I believe, when he finally got that cash in on Alberto Del Rio, and then I can't even remember what happened to his title reign. It just went down. It just went downhill. So I'm going to go with The Miz here. I would urge Ziggler and management, if any of them even hear this, change his gimmick, change his music, give him something, and just let him be Dolph. Do you know what I mean? Let him be Dolph, but add some change and variety to him, man. He's really still. He's more still than Big Boy John, and that's saying something. So as I said, Miz to go over and retain his belt. Hopefully it's a heelish win, so it pisses Bryan off more, just to add fuel to the fire. Moving on to the main event, you've got AJ Styles, the current WWE World Champion, I believe that's what they're calling the belt now. It changes every week. Versus Dean Ambrose. It's a TLC match, so expect James Ellsworth to get involved, cost Dean Ambrose the win, and set up probably a match between Ambrose and Ellsworth. I don't even know when, but expect them to do something like that. So, as I said, AJ Styles to win. I don't know how, but he's going to win. I want him to win. So AJ Styles for the win there. And that pretty much concludes everything. We've absolutely just smashed through that in about 8 minutes, something like that. So thank you for watching. Enjoy the pay-per-view tonight, TLC. Like, share, subscribe, you know, all that good stuff. All the tags, all the things are at the bottom here. Dan3HitU, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and my own website. So pop along, drop a message, and I will see you all tonight. Enjoy the pay-per-view, and see you all very, very shortly. Enjoy it, guys.